Hi, my name is Dave Danik, and I'm one of 4 career development specialists with the Haskayne Career Development Centre. Congratulations, you've landed a co-op job. You may be starting remotely and working from home. This video will give you a sense of what your start might look like and things to consider. We know things might change again if partway through your co-op start, you change and work in an office. It's important to check in on expectations at that time to see what the transition might look like. We want to give you a mix of what we are hearing from our co-op students, employers, and best practices that we've put together. Don't go struggling for very long. We're here to help. The Haskayne Career Development Centre is here to help you brainstorm solutions. Call your advisor if you have any concerns right away. We won't get directly involved, rather coach you on how to approach the situation. You are going to do great. Our team is here to help, and my colleague Danielle is now going to talk about successfully starting your co-op work term.
Thanks, Dave. One thing to really be mindful of is to be patient. Many organizations are rapidly trying to adjust all their processes, as many were not set up for virtual onboarding or remote workers. They may still be trying to work out some of the kinks in their system. What that might look like for you as a new start, it could be seen in the hardware. You might be asked or expected to use your own device where you log into virtual desktops to access the company systems. Or they might mail you a laptop so that you'll have that, but there might be delays with shipping because of the pandemic. Your orientation might be really different. Oftentimes, organizations will bring all their new hires together in one room to learn about the company and get you set up. You can expect to see this now virtually. It might be a session with other new hires on the team or across the organization with managers, or even up to the CEO might pop in. You'll see potentially different platforms being used like Zoom, Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams. A really big tip, make sure you're ready for the camera, dress appropriately, test your audio, and check your background out before you jump into any of those. Training on the job might be a little bit different as well. You can expect a combination of teaching yourself and training with a team member via those same online platforms. Jennifer.
Thanks, Danielle. I'm going to talk a little bit about how to manage expectations when you're starting your new job. So getting settled into a new role is difficult regardless. And it's especially difficult when you're doing it on your own and you're not around your team or your manager. So when you start off in your new position, you're going to want to ask some questions to your manager or to your team members and clarify what the expectations are so that you're setting yourself up for success. Some of those questions might include how frequently you should be communicating with your team or with your manager. What's the preferred method of communication? Is there a daily call? Do they prefer email? Or is it less frequent than that? Other things you'll want to ask are how often you should be checking in about workload. If you have too much work, or if you don't have enough work, who should you be talking to, and how frequently should that check-in be happening? That brings me to who your go-to person is. It might not always be your manager, depending on the role, but you will want to identify who you can talk to if you have a question about what you're working on, where to find something, how to get set up. So identifying those things right out the gate are going to make sure that you're successful. Other things that you might want to ask, how are other people dressing while working from home? That's something that you would typically see just from walking around your office, but it's hard to do when you're only seeing the top half of people on web conferences. So clarifying exactly what the expectations are there. Same goes for the work hours. Are you keeping the same schedule that you would be if you were in the office? Or is it a little bit more flexible now that you're working from home? And how frequently are you taking breaks? When are you expected to be at your computer and not? Identifying all of those things will make sure that you know what's expected of you and your manager knows that they can rely on you to get everything done and to be a good employee. With that, I am going to pass it off to Tanya.
Thanks, Jennifer. While working from home isn't necessarily a perfect situation, you can make the most out of it. We have 6 different tips to make sure this transition is as smooth as possible. Number 1, set up your office space to fit your needs, whether that's having dual monitors, a wireless keyboard and mouse, bringing a plant to your desk to help uplift your spirits, adjusting your chair, anything that you need to really make it your own and exciting to go to work. Number 2, as best as you can, try to keep a routine. This includes regular work hours, as Jennifer mentioned, clarifying with your manager, and make sure that you end the day like you typically would going into the office. This ensures that you don't burn out throughout the day. And last, for your routine, make sure you go to bed on time. Number 3, dress up for work. This goes hand in hand with setting up your routine for the day and helps your mind get into work mode. Have a shower, eat breakfast, and dress for work. Trust me, this will ease yourself into this transition. Number 4, set yourself some daily goals. Now, naturally, you'll have work objectives, emails, projects, research, even some really exciting Zoom meetings. But try to think of other ways to cater to your overall well-being, such as getting some fresh air. Take your lunch away from your desk. Take your vitamins and eat your vegetables. Call a friend or a family member to connect socially, even though we're physically distancing. Listen to some uplifting music and have a dance party in your kitchen, or anything to break up your day and make sure that you're engaged. Number 5, communicate frequently with your team and your supervisor. We cannot stress this enough. Continuing to ask questions and connecting with those around you is really critical during this time. This is a different environment and landscape for everyone around you. There's no such thing as a silly question or asking for help. Number 6, try your best to avoid distractions. We certainly understand sometimes distractions come up, even when you are working in a physical office. Some of you may even live at home with family members, parents, siblings, maybe even pets, or you might even be a caregiver for someone. As best as you can, try to limit distractions by using headphones while you're working, bring your laptop to an outdoor space, avoid working from the kitchen table as this tends to be a high traffic area. We know how hard it can be to adjust from working in an office to working from home. We're all experiencing some form of challenges at this time. Remember, be kind to yourself, give yourself the best chance to succeed by following some of our tips. Take it one day at a time, and most importantly, if you are unsure, reach out to those around you. On behalf of the 4 career development specialists at the Haskayne Career Development Centre, we look forward to supporting you throughout this transition, and welcome to Co-op.